Alrighty then. We are live from Columbus, OH, with answering your financial questions. Live, what number? 183 today? Alrighty then. Alrighty, and we have that, and webcam looks adequately centered, so we are ready to go. I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money, and for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlists. What is it? 590 in there. Number 591 will be tomorrow morning, 11:05 a.m. Oh, Ramsey programming note coming up here. Answering your financial questions. That's my 8 p.m. stream that I do on weekdays that I can't do the after show, and then sometimes on the weekends as well, Saturday and or Sunday. Sometimes both, sometimes just one of those, but normally just at least one of those. And the music playlist that includes 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, including the newest one, When You're on Baby Step 2. All right. Oh, the Ramsey program note is that apparently the 24/7 stream is not happening anymore. Is that word? Happening. Or at least it's off temporarily. So I don't know. Seems like it was on this morning, right before the newest to YouTube show showed up at 9 a.m. is when that starts on YouTube Eastern time. And I'm going to check later for the 24/7 stream. It was not there, and it's still not. So maybe they decided not to do it. Maybe not worth it. There were a bunch of people on there at times, but like sometimes it would go down to about 20. There were generally over 20 people at any given time, and you wouldn't think that it takes that much to run it. So I don't know why they would not be running it. There's no reason not to be doing it, in my opinion. But I don't know. There may be something else going on with that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. How about we get into some questions? I'm on reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. That is not run by Ramsey Solutions. We are, what is that, 2 days ago? So we're getting to near the end of the questions, and sometimes I do run out of questions. The subreddits hold 1,000 posts at a time, but I do apparently too many streams because I use them all up. But I do have from the Facebook group, which is run by Ramsey Solutions. It says the Ramsey Baby Steps community on it. If it says any other words and is a Ramsey group, then it's not run by Ramsey Solutions, if that's important to you. There's also Ramsey dating groups on there, although in my experience, what I have seen on there, and this was several years ago, probably coming up on 4 years ago now was the last time that I looked at any of those, but most of the people in there were not single and were not looking to date anybody. They were just using it just like a regular, financial forum. So, as always, mileage may vary. It's from Florida Fanatic. I think I did this one already. Let's see, 30 years old. So if you want to buy a car, it's not what you can afford, it's what will get the job done, especially on an earlier baby step. Now, you get further along in the baby steps, your finances are better. You can splurge a little bit, but you would not be buying a brand new car until you are a millionaire. Oh yeah, yeah, I did this one the other day. Sorry about that. Yesterday, rather. 8K worth of work, and so that's up to you. You can say time of death on any vehicle you want to, but you would put that 8K that you would have to pay for repairs of that one and add some other savings to it, and that's fine. And so you can do like a max 50. Why would you need to spend more than $15,000 on a car? Why would you need to? So I'm not a car guy, so I am the last person to ask about this. If you want somebody to say, sure, go ahead. I don't see the point in it, especially the lower you are on the baby steps. But if you're getting a used car and you're paying cash for it and you're on baby step 4 and above, then you can get whatever you want. But anything you spend on the car, that's less you can invest, less you can put to kid college if you're saving for that, and less you can do. Well, this person doesn't own a house, so that would not apply. And so maybe not the children either. Doesn't say no kids, does say single though. So if no kids, so then you're just investing. So it's money that you could be investing instead. So you want the nice car, or do you want to have more money later in retirement? That kind of thing. How much saved at 39? It doesn't matter how much anybody else saves at 39. Because there's too many different variables to try to compare everybody. Oh, you should have this much saved up at this particular age. People are nutty with that. I get it why you might want to know what the average is, because maybe that should be close to what you should have, but your expenses, your income, your life is different than theirs. So maybe you had more debt to pay off and couldn't save that much by then. There's nothing that's going to change that except your ability to save more later, of course, because you don't have debt anymore. See, almost 39 years old, and husband is Foudy. We're combined around $70,000 gross. I work part-time, and my youngest just started kindergarten. So I'm looking into jobs that will fit our schedule. We have 2 kids, nothing saved for them for college. And we both have Roth IRAs. Mine is around $6,000 and his is around $9,000. Yeah, starting late, but better late than never. I mean, you can still have 30 years in the market if you wait to retire at 70. Otherwise, you'll have 25 years in the market, 20 years in the market, and so that's fine. You need to be putting 15% of this gross income into retirement, though, not just the maxing out the Roth IRAs, because that's only, what is that now, $8,000 a year? We put at least $100 in each month, sometimes more. I feel so behind. Well, you should be, because you're doing it wrong. I'm afraid we would never have enough to retire. If you keep going the same way you are now, you won't. That's not enough to put in there. And again, if you're just going on based on the max for the Roth IRAs, and let's see, that's, what is that, 100 a month, sometimes more. So let's just say like 200 a month. That's only 240. No, 24. Excuse me. That's only 2,400. So you're not anywhere near the max for that even, and so that's not going to be enough. Yeah, you're not going to make it like that. You need to be putting 15% of the 70,000, which is, oh gosh, let's see, that would be 10% is 7,000, and then half of that, 3,500. So 10,500 is what you need to be putting in that. And let me guess, you're spending a lot of money on stuff for the kids, or on other things. maybe you have too much house. So I don't know what your problem is. I don't know I would ask, where's the money going? Other than that, and maybe, I mean, 70,000 isn't a lot, even in the Midwest. It's not a lot. So, and especially if you're in somewhere like California, a high cost of living area, that could be eating up all your money. So you got to find out what's eating up all your money, and that's the 70K is what are making now. So maybe when you do get another job, because you can work while the kids are in school, the youngest is in school now, and so you can increase this, maybe to 100K altogether, hopefully. Then hopefully you'll be able to put away more, but you got to find out where the money is going. So I don't know. No debt except our house, and currently rebuilding our emergency fund. Okay, what happened to the emergency fund? See, obviously, you wouldn't think they would be investing while there was some kind of emergency, and so now they got to go back to step 3 to rebuild the emergency fund. So maybe they have some other issues going on there. So all that kind of stuff is what I would be asking this person, to where she a client. 101 comments, so not going in there to look to see for extra information, but the extra information would be, where is the extra money going? And if this house is too expensive, you might have to sell the house and downgrade in-house, so you can do these savings for because also, if you don't have enough money to invest, then you also don't have enough money to pay the house off early, which you're also supposed to do in addition to save for kid college. So yeah, the money's going somewhere. You need to find out where it's going. Need advice? This is from ESD Safe. Work in Silicon Valley at a tech company, and my compensation includes restricted stock units, as what RSU is. The advice on that would be, you keep them as long as you are required to keep them, but then you sell them the second you are not required to keep them anymore. And then you would use that money on whatever baby step you're on. If it would just go back to investing, then you would just put it in the 4-way split of managed mutual funds that Mr. Ramsey advises for retirement. Looking for advice on how much I can spend in rent. Okay, the restricted stock units, you would not count that at all. Below is a breakdown of my compensation and current expenses. My wife says you can spend 25% of your gross income into retirement, or take-home pay, actually. I mean, for your housing. And so, but would it be crazy to pay $5,000 in rent? How much? $3,400 bi-weekly after taxes. So that's times 26. 3,400 times 26. Count. 3,400 times 26 equals 88,400 divided by 12 to get the monthly. That would be $7,366. So 25% is not 5. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. So yeah, so if the entire amount per month is $7,366, how would you think you could spend $5,000 on rent? That would leave you with $2,366 left over. That doesn't seem very smart of you, sir. But let's see what that number is then, divided by 4. which is 25% of it. You're looking at 1841, my friend, which is a far cry less than 5,000. Okay, I know it's crazy if you just look at the numbers, but the San Francisco Bay Area housing prices are insane. Yeah, then you don't make enough money to live there. You can't buy a house for less than $1.3 million, and apartments are renting for $45 for a 3-bedroom. You don't make enough money to work there or live there. So you need to either bring your Silicon Valley at a tech company job, you need to kick that up to where you can afford to live there. Otherwise, what you do is you move. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, you don't make enough money to live there, and you don't get a pass on the map just because you were born there or because you want to live there. Sorry. That's the way it happens sometimes. You can't trick the math. Math is a universal constant. You cannot trick the math just because you want to do something, or just because you were born there and you want to stay there. I'm sorry. Player 091. Should I finish baby step 2? The answer, of course, is yes. There wouldn't be a time where you wouldn't finish baby step 2. I mean, you would still finish it eventually, even if you had to pause it for some kind of emergency, storm mode, or pregnancy, stork mode. But you would still return to baby step 2 the moment mom and baby were home from the hospital safe, and you had taken care of the financials with the hospital. Early this year, I got a role that gave about a 30K bump. Congratulations. Plus severance from my old job, I guess. Forgot the word job there. We don't have to put the word job there anymore. Of about 18K. In short, every penny extra so far has gone to the snowball. Great. That's how it should work. Over the past year, we went from mortgage 65K, student loans 52K, car 11K, truck 14K, Bass Pro Card 2K. Did we close that? Chase Card 10K. Did we close that? To just the mortgage and student loans. Okay, relatively the same as what they were. Right, because you were only paying minimums on them. Now, well, and the mortgage is not part of baby step 2. That's step 6 to pay extra on that. So you didn't read that far apparently, or didn't understand, which happens a lot. Now I do have about 110K in a 401K and 10K in stocks. You do not touch retirement. The time when you touch retirement is once you are retired. You do not take a 401K loan. You do not cash out. Do not pass go. Quit being dumb. If the 10K in stocks is in a brokerage account, meaning no penalty for taking it out, just have to pay taxes on the gains, you would do that and apply that to your dumbass student loans. Yes. Should I kill the student loans? Yes. Or just snowball into them around 2K a month. That's not snowballing into them. That's doing your dumb crap. Gains in my 401K this year have been amazing. They have in everybody. So there's risk in there pulling out. Nobody said to pull out. That was your dumbass idea. You're being a dumbass for suggesting that, and you're being a dumbass for not just doing the 10K, and you're being a dumbass for calling the snowball as just a little bit per month instead of all the extra money and like investing more. That's debt leverage, and Mr. Ramsey is, in addition to being the no debt guy, he's also the no debt leverage guy. So no, you would be paying off the house before you invest more than 15%. And you should be doing that. But no, you shouldn't be doing that. Actually, you shouldn't be investing at all because you're on step 2. My bad. So yeah, you're doing it wrong. Hopefully, 28 comments. Hopefully somebody said, you're doing it wrong. Because people apparently don't know when they're doing it wrong, or they do know and they just ignore it and they just go about life. And they don't just ignore it and say, well, okay, I won't do the Ramsey advice. They do it. They say, okay, I'm going to ignore that. But I'm still on the Ramsey plan. And they still want to go on the Dave Ramsey subreddit and talk about it and ask people's opinions of stuff. Dumb. It's so dumb. Everything you're doing is bad. Or is that one? I haven't heard that one in a minute. Actually, we did last week, I believe. Where is that? There we go. Janosh from Ghostbusters 2. Take it. Smart.
Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this.
That's right. And could play that on most of these questions, it seems like. Unfortunate. Alrighty. Need a car. Should I wait or buy a beater? If you okay. Hey, guess what? Guess how this works? Did I mention that people are nutty? Did I mention that? Okay, so you said you need a car. Should I wait? If you can wait, then you don't need a car. What you doing? Get your life together. Get your mind together. What is up with that? You don't need a car if you can wait. Let's read it. Context. Yes, let's have some context. I've gone about a year or so without a car, surprisingly. If you've gone a year, guess what? You can probably go longer and you don't need a car at all. Probably. Maybe your situation is changing. Let's say college was rough, having to juggle rent without much of an income. Hey man, that's on you. You could have worked or done something. Who knows? I've had 2 cars before that. Didn't last long due to poor maintenance on the previous owner's end. Okay, that happens as well. Make sure you get any cars that you buy, make sure you get them checked out by a mechanic that you employ. You don't take the dealer's word for it. You don't take the seller's word for it. If you're buying private sale, which you should be doing to get the best deal, had to rely on Ubers and rides. That gets expensive. The Uber part, people are transporting you for free. That's better. It has really been costly. Yeah, eventually the juice isn't worth the squeeze there. And yeah, you should buy a beater. And that's all it should be. On the lower baby steps, it's a beater is what it's going to be. And I don't care that you had problems with previous owners and not doing maintenance on it. That's, again, why you get the car checked out before you buy it. Now that my living situation is stable, you don't have to live in a stable. I'm kidding. I'm looking to buy another used car as I don't want debt. Well, how you do that, what you do when you don't want debt is you don't take debt ever again. It's part of baby step 0, deciding you're not going to take out debt ever again. So what you do is you pretend this is a table. Oh, look, there's debt on here. I'm going to take that off the table, and that's not going to be a possibility for me anymore. I'm going to do everything else instead. Right. I finished saving for my emergency fund. Great. And I'm now saving for a car. Great. Start looking for some and buy a beater. A very cheap car. Have a mechanic check it out. It's hard to keep myself motivated though, and I'm starting a new position, and I'm going to be able to put aside a lot more money monthly, about $1,600 or so monthly, for the car fund. You know what would motivate me is overpaying for transportation by using Ubers all the time. That would motivate it. That would motivate the heck out of me. The issue is that the location is 40 minutes away. Yeah. Hey, what? Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. Don't take an Uber 40 minutes away. Buy yourself a beater. Where are we at? 40 minutes away. That's about $70 one way to the new job. So, yes, I'll say it. You're a dumbass if you don't buy a car to do that instead. That's basically my entire salary right there. Exactly. I'm tempted by the fruit of another to just bite the bullet and buy a cheap beater for 1 to 2K on the Facebook Marketplace. All right. You can also check Craigslist. You can also check cars.com website as well. That puts me in a position where I'm susceptible to scams, but it's really hard to do much of anything without a car. I live in Cali, by the way. Great. That just makes it worse. Yeah, well, again, that's why you don't send them any money ahead of time. You don't do that. You exchange money, and you can do a cashier's check. But you do that on the spot when they hand you the keys and the title. So yeah, but you don't have to limit yourself. But this is another thing that I should do a special on this. Things people do that are dumb. They lock themselves into one thing so often. Could you say the reliable-ish on Facebook Marketplace, and that's all they go to? Facebook, well, that's where I got to get it on Facebook Marketplace. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop being dumb. They also get one roofer's opinion on their roof, and the guy says, oh yeah, you need a brand new roof right now. Why don't you have another roofer come check it out? Like one that a friend has used or something like that, if this one that you already had it from. So get more than one opinion on it. Or at the dentist, and he said, oh yeah, all your teeth are going to have to come out. Yeah, why don't you get a second opinion from a second dentist? Quit being dumb, people. Financing is not an option, right? And that's what you say, and so there's no need to even say that. You don't even have to say that there. On the Ramsey subreddit, I would just assume that about anybody, that you don't want to take out debt and that financing is not an option. So you don't even have to put that for me. Obviously, I'm very debt averse, which is what Dave Ramsey calls for anyway. Right? Any advice would help. Thanks for reading. Yeah, quit being dumb. Quit being dumb. It's dumb to have paid all that in Uber, what you have been doing. You should have already had a car. Granted, a cheap one. Sure, 1 or 2K, if you can find one that cheap. But even a $5,000 one, if you can save that money, do it. Because like you said, you're doing your whole salary to go to a job 40 minutes away. Another thing you can think of if you have a current lease, when your lease is up, how about you move closer to the job? If the job is working out, that's what I'm doing. I looked at an apartment today near the job that I have, which will turn my almost 30-minute commute to an 8-minute one. Fun times. Sleep in a little bit longer. Less wear and tear on the car, less gas. You know how it goes. What up, Aslan? Aslan says check the VIN number to make sure the car is not stolen. That's true as well. See, this is all this kind of stuff. Yeah, this kind of stuff is like what I would do anyway without even thinking about it. But yeah, you got to tell some people to do this stuff. Get a Carfax on it to see if it's been totaled. Make sure you don't want it to be junk. Make sure the person selling it has a title and they have ID showing their name matches the title. All great advice from Aslan. That's why she should be a co-host. True Boysenberry 7448. Reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where they named all the pies. They went strawberry, boysenberry. They did like 10 berries, and then one of them said peach. How do you keep groceries under control without giving up on healthy food? The earlier the baby step you're on, you might have to give up on healthy food for a while. My spouse and I are on a tight budget following the baby steps, but groceries keep blowing up our plan. No, they don't. You keep deciding to buy those types of groceries, and you're blowing up your plan. You're the one that spends the money at the grocery store. The groceries themselves do not do that. We don't want to just eat rice and beans forever. You don't have to do it forever. You do that on the early baby steps. But also don't want to overspend. Make up your mind. See, this is like, well, we don't want to eat rice and beans, but we also don't want to do that. We want there to be healthy food for a cheaper price, and if that doesn't happen, guess what? You got to choose one or the other. Cheap food that might not be that great for you, but is only for a short time, meaning a hashtag season. It's only a season of that while you get your butt into baby step 4. Once you get on baby step 4, knock yourself out, put the healthy food grocery budget number back in there. But until then, no, buy cheap stuff. Rice and beans for you. I got a great idea. You want to be healthy? How about you run more, work out more? Not at the gym, that costs money too. How about you just run? Or get the rice and bean cans, and you lift those like they're weights. You can do things cheaply. People just don't want to. What's worked for you all to keep this category reasonable? I didn't have a obsession with buying healthy, expensive food. And also, there's probably a way to find, there might even be a subreddit that has this kind of information on there of where you can buy cheaper food that's just as healthy, and it's not whatever in vogue brand of healthy food. So you might be able to find healthy food that's cheaper. While that might be a happy median in between the cheap groceries that are very bad for you and the healthy food that cost way too much, and that's not good for you either. Pacific Coastie, pay off 28K at 12% or 12K at 8%. It's called the debt snowball, my friend. And that would be smallest to largest. And last time I checked, 12K is smaller than 28K. It's not the interest rate that you're doing. We're not paying by interest rate. We're paying by the amount owed. And that 12K comes before the 28K. Have a personal loan from credit union, 12% with 28K balance. And my cars are both 8% with balances of 12.8K and 23K. Which order should I pay these? Again, smallest to largest, and you didn't include the third one that's also at 8%. So, you being dumb. How about we read the baby steps where it says, and it actually does say this here, you might have to click something. Yeah, it says pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball. It doesn't tell you could Google the debt snowball to find out what it is, but I think also if you click this, it takes you down here and it says smallest to largest debt snowball method. List your debt smallest to largest. Yeah, it says it right there. So why are you not paying attention? Why are you not why are you going to ask your fellow Redditor, which is not going to be my advice ever, probably. Oh, and look, already locked, because what is this, kids? Oh yeah, this is debt leverage. When you keep any type of loan around, even if it's the most interest one, or no, the smallest interest one, but the smallest amount. When you do that, that's debt leverage. You're debt leveraging your way of paying off the debt. It's great you want to pay off the debt, but you're going to make it take longer, statistically. Aslan said, pasta is your friend with the no perishables. Buy extra when it is on sale to get you to the next sale. Rumblers 69 said there are low-cost healthy foods. You just have to do the research. Yep, and people don't want to do that. They just want to get their same dumb name brands of stuff. lazy. People are lazy. Does this have dots? It does. Buying a house, budget. What you talking about, Willis? Talking about the amount the mortgage should be? That's easy. 2.5 times your income. I put down 50,000 on 425K. Okay, so that means, does that mean it was 475 and so now you owe 425? Or does that mean it is now a 375 mortgage? Locked in and fixed 6.125 rate, 30-year loan. And guess what? 30-year loans is a no. And if you had to get the 30 years so you could afford it, that means you're house poor, almost certainly. You're doing it wrong. Mortgage is around $28.20 per month, including HOA and insurance. I make 130. Yeah, 130. That would be 260 and 65. So 325. So you're closer to it if it was 425, and so now it's a 375. You're more in the ballpark for that, but it's still too much. 15% pre-tax, 401k. Take-home pay is 88,000. Check that on the calculator. 88,000. What? 260? No, 626. 626 divided by 4, or could have done times 0.25, and that is, that's not right. Oh, because that's pretty, gee, losing my mind. Okay, 88,626 divided by 12 divided by 4. There we go. Hey, guess what? Your mortgage payment can be 1846. So that's gonna be a no. Where does it say it is? What does it say it was? 2820. Yeah, so you're about $1,000 more. So you bought way too much house for your income, sir. You're doing it wrong. I'm a bit heavy on percentage. Oh, you think of take-home pay for mortgage? Yep, 40% instead of 30 or less. Yeah, and you shouldn't have the 30 year, so it actually is way more than that because you got the 30 year. So you're trying to go around the system, and I'm gonna put all my blood on the fact that he knew the advice was to do 15 year, but did the 30 anyway. I don't know that for sure, so I probably shouldn't be betting my blood that haphazardly, but I just feel like for me, that's the kind of person this person is. So, it's like, doesn't want to do any of the Ramsey advice, but insists on involving himself and still comparing it to the Ramsey advice and so forth. So that's just my feeling on it. He might not be. He might just be some dumb regular person that didn't know about the 15 year, but most of the time they do, I would think. But this budget will leave me with 200 more cash per month. That doesn't matter. In my current pay and rent budget, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Justification station, trying to justify your dumb crap. I was spending $900 to $1,100 on DoorDash per month at the apartment. Now I'll be cooking at home. Hey, you could have been cooking at the apartment too. Invalid. Invalid. Objection. Objection, Your Honor. He has an oven at the house. I mean, at the apartment too. Dun, dun, dun. He can't handle the truth. Now I'll be cooking at home. Yeah, you could have been cooking at home before, so don't even try it. Trying everything to justify your dumbass decision. We'll be getting a big raise to the 130K mark. So you either have to put a noun there, or you leave out the You can say big raise to 130K. When the first mortgage payment is due. Just curious what you guys think. I think you bought too much house. As a matter of fact, I don't think it. I know it. You're house poor. Take home pay. You already gave us all the numbers. You already gave us all the numbers. Don't need them again. Look, guys. Really, I can do this. It's fine. Needs and wants. 26% on want. Too much. Saving debt. $1,000 to emergency fund, cash savings. You don't build the emergency fund, you pay off more on the house. The emergency fund stays at a max 6 months. So you don't do that. Cash savings, no. Extra investing past the 15%, that's a no as well. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it like you want to do it. Let's see what else the guy's doing wrong. Roughly $25,000 available cash for cushion when moving in after paying $50K down in closing costs. You don't need that much. That much should have been put down on the mortgage. And you put that down on the mortgage, that makes your case even better, but it's still, you bought too much house. No debt, saving 15% pre-tax, right? That's all the investing you should be doing. Until the house is paid off and for it be 71 an hour. Hopefully you will be. We don't count on that when we buy too much house, though. Needs will decrease. We don't count on that when you buy too much house, though. Stable recession-proof job. We don't count on that when you buy too much house. It's not a justification station. It's not a good justification station argument. Broke it all down. Feel pretty good about this budget. You shouldn't. You're doing it wrong. Had the seller knock off $5K for some fixes that, see, again, no matter, just constantly trying to talk us into the fact that it's a good idea, his opinion that it's a good idea, and that he did good, but no, you didn't. You're doing it wrong. You bought too much house. So, and again, I don't understand. I don't understand, man, at all. If I looked at the Ramsey advice and I didn't want to do that, or I made, money decisions and such, and I thought that that was exactly the way to do, and I looked at all the numbers and I thought it looked fine, I wouldn't be on the Dave Ramsey subreddit asking for somebody's opinion. Because you might get some dumbass like this person giving you advice, which would be very bad. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. So dumb. What is it? Latitude Northerner? From the North Shore. Of course. Obviously a Northerner. I'm kidding. Northerners are wonderful. They're marvelous people. Flaky Candidate 8223. Baby step 7 in net worth millionaire. Is it time for a career change? If you want it to be, it's not a law that it has to be, but if you want it to be, baby step 7 is the best, can't talk today, the best position you can be in to do something like a career change. So like you may be near like an age where you may be in a situation where, if you just hit $1 million net worth, it might not be time to retire, but you'd be fine with cutting your income in half, and that's when it's time to try out other things that you want to do for fun and money at the same time. Considering a significant career change from engineering to medicine, boop, 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 doo. Generally, that's going to be a young man's game. Is my husband and I 31 man, 30F. Oh, okay. Just 30, baby step 7. Just 30? Sure, knock yourself out. Go ahead and try it. Because we're doing it, you're paying for all the schooling in cash. Or, you can see if you qualify for any kind of help at all, any kind of grant scholarships or something like that. Maybe 30 years plus. Maybe that age range has separate scholarships and grants available, perhaps. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you were like 50 years old and wanting to start a career in medicine, like to be anything other than a nurse, I would probably just try to dissuade you from that. Because it's 7 years just in medical school. So by that time you're 57, and so again, juice not worth the squeeze there. 50K retirement investments. That's 50,000 a year. Do have the paid off house. Yep. That is required for baby step 7-inch. But that gives 50,000. What are your expenses per month? I mean, if this is change career, she was in engineering, so I would be concerned only having 50K in investment. 500K, and that's for both of you. That's not that much. 50K in liquid cash. Should really just have your emergency fund, 6-month emergency fund, and sinking funds in liquid. And maybe that's what that amount is. Pretty easy to believe for a net worth millionaire, probably. Approximately 30K and 529 for our 2-year-old son. Okay. 30K, 2 years old. Well, it was invested in the past year. That bad boy should have gone up like at least in the 20s, depending on what you have it in, 20%. We've been lucky to have high-paying jobs since graduation. I make $220,000 today. However, I'm not satisfied in my job, engineering, and would like to go into medicine. I wouldn't go to med school, but I'm thinking about anesthesiologist assistant school. Okay, so that cuts the scope down, and that's good. That's great. That probably doesn't take that long to go through either. And then you could start working faster. It just depends on how much income is happening. You got the paid off house, and it was 480K that you paid off. Is that what it's worth now? It does talk about their net worth, so maybe they looked at the current value of it, but I'm going to be concerned about that. There are just 30 though, so 500. What is that? That's going to be 7 times 3 is 28. So it should double 3 times by the time they get to retirement age. So yeah, they'll probably be all right. Okay, I think when I was looking at the retirement stuff, I forgot that they were only 30. According to compared to some of us, they're babies still. Oh, it would require me to do what? Quitting my job and doing 1 year of prerequisite schooling full time. I'd probably do at a local community college, 20K, no problem on that. 130K for 2.5 years of master's program. Okay, that's still longer than I thought it was gonna be, but not like the 7 years it would become to take a doctor. So I would have to look at it, and I would want to look at the Ramsey retirement tools, like the investment calculator and so forth, and see what would happen, like in the worst case scenario, that like say you paid the 150K, and then all of a sudden your first day you decide you don't like it and you want to quit and go work at Walmart. run the numbers on that, and see if it's okay. Like I said, 500K now. It should double 3 times in the next 30 years, next 28 years. No, 4 times. That's how we do math. 7 times 4 is 20. Okay, it should double 4 times. So probably you'd be okay. But I would just look at that. And if it was my client, I would actually do the numbers and look at that for them. And it would require us to sell our house, really, and move to another city or state, as they don't have this program in my area. Okay, that's got to be something that husband is completely 100% on board with as well. So that's another thing. See now, you roped me in. You roped me in, and now you'd start to say things. Now comes the things where you lose me on it. Let's see. We would use the funds from selling our house, pay for school and living. Yeah, as well as my husband's income, and he works completely remotely for the next 2.5 years. It's also not possible to do online, as you have to go to the hospital and take care of patients. Indeed. I would hope they don't let you just do it virtually. Where are you going to live if you're spending all the money from the house? Upon graduation, just renting. The starting salaries are $250K and can go up or down depending. Yeah, if you one, graduate, and if you two get a job, and theoretically you could. I don't think anesthesiologists are in abundant supply, so you probably could get a job. But you liking it as one thing, and hey, guess what? What about if you have another baby? If you have another baby boy or baby girl, not gonna want to stay home with the baby boy and baby girl? See, you got to think about this stuff, and people don't ever do that. When they take out student loans, they always think they'll graduate. They always think they'll get a job. They always think they'll like the job and can make a lot of money and can pay out the student loans. So it's definitely worth it to do, right? No, it's not. Because of all that being not guaranteed. My thoughts is my husband and I have worked very hard. My thought is correct. That's correct. I thought I said my thoughts. My bad. My thought is my husband and I work very hard to get where we are in life. And I've always been interested in medicine. And I'd love to be taking care of patients and helping people. Basically restating previous stuff or what we could assume. Anyway, it would be a more physical job, which I'd love. Have more flexible hours. I'm ready for a different challenge. Using that protractor is not physical. Engineering. My husband is supportive, great, but it would require us uprooting our lives. Yeah, hey, does husband know you gotta move, sell the house and move? Does he know that? Where we live, so I'm wondering if others think this is a good idea. Hey, my name is Paul, and that's between y'all. My job as a financial coach in this situation is to just tell you about all the things that you're not thinking about, which people don't think about the upside. I mean, the downside of these things. They think about the upside, and I want to help people, and I want to be in medicine, and anesthesists make starting salaries of $250,000. Maybe you won't be able to make that much ever, including right away. So that's not 100% guaranteed, my friend. So that would be my Aslan is off to work. She out. Many thanks to her for watching. And Crom as well. So yeah, you need to talk to him more than you need to talk to us about it. But 33 comments. Perhaps somebody in the comments gave her the advice that I have, or has pointed out the things that could go wrong with that. And so you have to consider that. If you don't know, I mean, you said he's going to be working, he's worked from home remotely for the next 2.5 years. What about after that? Is he working remotely forever, or might that change too? See, that could be a problem as well. See, people don't like to think about the problems and the way things could go wrong. They want to try to be optimistic about it because they really want to do their stuff that they want to do. And so you're in the right baby step for it, and you'd probably be okay in retirement. I mean, even if you didn't work another day ever, probably for retirement would be okay, but I don't know what your expenses per month are. I don't know what rent is going to be, but as far as, the $150K for the schooling, it seems like you could cover that, but you just got to think about it all. And so this is when you have to do your over planning, when you look at every little thing, when you're going to do something like this. You don't have to do all your planning for something like this when you're on step 2. How about we concentrate on baby step 2 instead? But baby step 7 is the perfect time to start over planning and overthinking things. And this certainly should have way more thought put to it, because I didn't see really any negatives that the author of this post pointed out here. And so when you don't mention any negatives, it's generally because you're trying to do the little thing that you want to do, even if you shouldn't do it. No, NG Witty. Bite chunk out of savings to eliminate credit card debt. My friend, have you glanced at the baby steps? Let's see, baby step 1 right here. Save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. Does it say to save more than $1,000? The answer is no. Like my friends in Australia say, or some of them anyway. Apparently some Australians don't say nar like that. But yeah, it doesn't say save 1 cent more than $1,000. You know where it says to do that? Oh, step 3. And where does step 3 come after? Paying off debt. So that means, I guess, you just have $1,000 in savings until you are done with your debt then, right? Just say yes. Yes, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate it muchly. Hey, y'all. Mid-20s, getting ready to leave home. Well, if you move somewhere else, that will be your new home. And strike out on my own come the new year. Great. Mr. Ramsey advises adults to live on their own. I got $10K saved as a rainy day fund and about $12K saved in plain savings. Is that like a plain bagel? Okay, and like until you move out, this would be a time where, sure, fine, keep the 10K saved. No, actually you should be paying off debt while you're gonna stay for, what is it, September, October, November, December. So you got 3 more months that you are, definitely save enough to move out for deposits or anything else you need to have money for, but all the rest of that the money you're making from working should be going to the debt instead of extra savings. Against this, I have 3.7 gang credit card debt. Yeah, I've been making payments on the credit card sufficient enough to zero it out by end of year. Do it faster than that. But the prospect of wiping it clean now, using my savings, and then refocusing on aggressive savings until move out seems logical. Yeah, if you could save up enough money, if you can wipe out the debt with savings, that's a great idea. Surprised I didn't think of it. I probably would have by the time I got to the end, because I was thinking about that. But yeah, if you can wipe out the debt right now, then all the money that you were putting to minimum payments would be extra now, in addition to all the extra you had beforehand. So you put all that together, and if that's enough for you to move out with, then yes, do that. Am I missing anything here, or have I just been too goofy to see the obvious choice? No, you saw it. It's exactly what you said it was. Again, as long as you calculate what you need to move out, You can contact electric companies and so forth and see if they are going to require any deposit. I don't think generally that they do. But like a new apartment might require a deposit, so you just want to make sure you got that. And if you need to rent a truck, if you have that much stuff, generally kids leaving their parents don't have that much stuff. Although my son's going to have to find somewhere to put all of my Star Wars toys that he still has. But I don't think he has that much stuff either. Where are we? Oh, to see this obvious choice. No, I think you're seeing it. And congratulations on that. Time is at 9 a.m. Okay. What would Dave say? It's actually what would Dave do? Or I guess what would Dave say is fine as well. We'll get into that tomorrow, see what that is. My only debt is my mortgage. Okay, well, you follow the baby steps. You do the baby steps the way the baby steps are, and you don't try to come up with your own little idea of how to do something different. I may be jumping the gun on that, but again, if it's just following the baby steps, why do you have to post? So I think this person is going to want to go off the reservation. And if the baby steps say to do something and you want to do something else, Dave, you don't think Dave is going to say to do his baby steps? So what a waste of time you're wasting. But it's not a waste for me because it's content. Yay. What would you consider living below your means? Your means is what comes in. So that means you don't spend more than you make. That's all that means. So, some people like to have thought experiments and such like that, and theories and stuff like that. But it's really just as simple as that. And trying to make it deeper than that is dumb. Bucket. Don't quite understand the whole brokerage thing. Okay, I don't know about Bucket. I don't know why they named it Bucket, but it's something on a question about investing in RMDs, so we'll get into that. Tomorrow, there will be a Ramsey Show after show 11:05 a.m. right after the newest to YouTube show is over, and that thing starts at 9 a.m. The newest Ramsey show to YouTube. Intro plus advice, please. New to the baby steps. Okay, good. That way you could have wrong ideas about it, and we can tell you the correct way. UK baby steppers. It's going to be all the same advice. You don't get a pass because you can pay minimums on student loans for 30 years, and then they go away. The advice for you is still to pay off the student loan and get rid of it. Sanity check, roast my mortgage. If it's more than 25%, it's too much. If it's more than a 15-year mortgage, it's too much. And so I will be roasting it. I'll just be saying, you're doing it wrong. Or worst case scenario, I call you a dumbass. Which you probably are. Looking for a Canadian app, similar to every dollar. Don't know of one. 26, started working as a New York public school teacher. No idea what to do with my money. Oh. Have you seen the baby steps? Have you seen them? It's right here. It tells you right here what to do with everything in order. It tells you online shopping, debit card to pay from checking account. I would recommend the debit card instead. And you do want to make sure you have a debit card with a Visa or MasterCard logo on it so that you get those same protections. And not just like a credit union or something like that with a Dave loves the credit unions, but make sure they offer a debit card that has a Visa or MasterCard logo on it. TSP transfer, what are we rolling to Roth IRA? All right, and unless it's a Roth TSP, you're going to have a tax event though. Credit card or savings. If you have debt, and you're not paying it off so you can have extra savings, that's debt leverage, and that's a no from Mr. Ramsey. Advice on working the baby steps with a fiance. You do not. you work them separately until you're married, and then you work them. You combine everything, and then you work them together. Alrighty, and so we'll work on those. And I do have some questions from the Ramsey Baby Steps Community Facebook group, also ready to go for when we run out of these Reddit questions. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And
You're doing it wrong.
Whoops, yeah,
You're doing it wrong.
this time.
You're doing it wrong.
Me.
You're doing it wrong.
Me. I was doing the wrong thing, not saying my plugs first, and also I did it wrong by, instead of resetting the plugs, I also did it wrong by queuing up George, saying that you're doing it wrong. And why not? Here's the original, the OG, You're Doing It Wrong, from a little movie from the 1900s, the 1980s, as a matter of fact, called Mr. Mom.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Michael Keaton was, in fact, doing it wrong. Alrighty, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also send questions about finances, about anything, coaching, about anything else on my YouTube channel. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, do CashApp $ Coach Steve Money. Was not taken. Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. How about that? Upcoming streams, and they are subject to change, but probably won't. For the rest of this week here, we have the Ramsey Show After Show 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, and we're doing that Wednesday, and that's tomorrow, and Thursday, that's the day after, September 24th and 25th. Answering your financial question streams, 8 p.m. is when those happen, and they are going to be, the upcoming ones are Friday, September 26th. No after show that day. And Saturday and or Sunday, September 27th and 28th. Don't know about next weekdays yet. Baby steps, 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time. No doing higher steps early. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6 in order, all 3 at the same time. Learn it, know it, live it. It's also from an 80s movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Alrighty, again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. Don't be a dumbass.